So now we're going to get to Justina with more on these safe driving guidelines for teens.
Yeah, that's right. And it's so important for those teens to pay attention when they are out on the road. So this morning we're learning how one organization works to help young drivers learn proactive skills for the roads. The group will be in Houston next week ahead of their free defensive driving program. And joining me this morning to talk about the B.R.A.K.E.S program is the founder, Doug Herbert. Thank you so much, Doug, for joining us. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on and letting us tell about our program that we're bringing down to Houston.
Can you tell us why you founded the B.R.A.K.E.S program?
Well, yeah, January 26, 2008, my two teenage boys were killed in a car crash. And, you know, at the time I was an NHRA top fuel drag racer. I've won the race down there at Houston Raceway Park in the past, had some great success, four-time world champion. Over 330 miles an hour. These are really exciting cars, right? But we race them at a racetrack. And then my kids, their crash occurred less than a mile from our house. And I didn't realize at the time car crashes were the #1 leading cause of fatalities for teenagers. You know, nobody thinks about that, right, until it affects you. So I decided at that time, hey, I'm going to do something. I'm going to teach my kids' friends about being safer drivers. And so in 2008, we taught like 50 teenagers. And I thought I was, you know, really did a great job, right, taught these 50 teenagers. And then it's kind of snowballed since then. And now we've trained over 150,000 teenagers all around the country. We have a study from the University of North Carolina showing that these teenagers that we're training are actually 64% less likely to be involved in a crash, which is, you know, to me, it's just, it's incredible. And, you know, I'm happy to be able to carry something on for my boys that are helping. You know, really my goal is to make sure another parent doesn't get that phone call that I got, that their child was involved in a car crash and that they won't be coming home tonight. So that's what really we're trying to accomplish. And so then back to that, right? We're coming down to Houston March 23rd, 24th. It's a 4-hour program, so you could choose either morning or afternoon classes. We encourage parents to bring their teenagers. They're going to learn a lot of great skills that'll keep them safe on the roads. And parents are actually required to participate as well, because the teenagers didn't learn all their bad habits on their own. A lot of times as parents, you know, we kind of help teach them some bad habits. But the program is going to be down there at the Mannheim Auto Auction Center by the Hobby Airport. And like I said, it's a free class. It's free to come, free to participate. We just encourage people to come, and you know, they're going to learn some life-saving skills. So we're really excited about coming to Houston, and people can go to the website, which is putonthebrakes.org, and sign up, and you know, just come out and join us and learn some life-saving skills.
And B.R.A.K.E.S, that's such a catchy name. Does it stand for anything, or is that what you guys kind of went for?
Yeah, well, it does actually. My kids' friends, I asked them, I said, hey guys, we're going to come up with this program to help teach teenage drivers about being safe. And my boys' friends came up with that acronym B.R.A.K.E.S, which stands for Be Responsible and Keep Everyone Safe. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We've been doing that for, you know, 15 years now. So it's pretty neat that we're able to, you know, I don't know how many lives we've actually saved with the program, but I'm pretty sure we've saved quite a few.
Yeah, and it's all about prevention. So with that even being said, what is the difference between this program and a regular driver's ed program?
Yeah, that's good that you asked that, because one of the things that, you know, that I like to say, first of all, what B.R.A.K.E.S is, well, it's easier to say what it's not. We're not driver's ed. We don't teach teenagers how to drive. We teach them how to drive better. When they come to the B.R.A.K.E.S program, when they come to one of our classes, we require them to actually have at least 30 hours of behind the wheel experience. They actually need to know how to drive a car, right? They need to know how to put it in gear. They kind of need to be a little bit aware about that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to teach them life-saving skills in the car. We're going to talk to them about crash avoidance. We have a slalom exercise, distracted driving, which is obviously huge, right? Everybody sees that every day driving down the road, people, you know, on their phone or, you know, distracted in some way or another. We teach panic braking, analog braking exercises, drop wheel recovery, which is one of the leading causes of fatalities all over the country. We drop a wheel off the side of the road and then overcorrect, either go into a ditch or go into oncoming traffic. That's a big one. We also have a skid avoidance program where we put these special tires on the cars, and we teach the teenagers about how to, #1, avoid a skid, and #2, how to get out of a skid once they get into, because you read in a book, oh yeah, steer into the skid. Well, what do you do then? So we're teaching them what do you do then, and how do you get out of that and make it so it's, you know, not a deadly situation.
All right, and when and where? I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but when and where can people expect the sessions?
We're going to be going down to the Mannheim Auto Auction Center just outside of the Hobby Airport down in Houston. It'll be the weekend of March 23rd and 24th. And like I said, it's only 4 hours, so they can choose a program either Saturday morning or afternoon or Sunday morning or afternoon. The program's free. We require a deposit just to make sure that people show up once they make the commitment, so we don't have all these Kia provided vehicles and instructors sitting around with nothing to do when somebody decides they don't want to show up. But the deposit's refundable once they show up and participate. So like I said, it's a free program. You're going to come. You're going to be 64% less likely to be involved in a crash. You're going to learn some life-saving skills. And really, they're going to have fun, because what we're actually doing is it's a performance driving experience is really what B.R.A.K.E.S is. It's just we're teaching about safety. I'm a car guy, right? I love racing cars, 300 miles an hour, doing all these fun things. But now, the wins come in a different way now. And the wins come when we get an email or a phone call at the B.R.A.K.E.S office saying that, hey, something that I learned at B.R.A.K.E.S helped me avoid this deadly situation, and then everybody gives a high five. So it's rewarding, and it's neat to know that my boys are still making a difference with this, and we're going to come down there to Houston and try and save some lives down there, make the road safer.
All right, and we're running out of time, so last but not least, how can people register?
The best thing to do is to go to our website, which is putonthebrakes.org. So putonthebrakes.org. If there's a lot of information on there, and they could also go to our website, or go if they have questions past the website, they can call our office, and we'll be happy to help them and get them registered up. And on the website as well as just safe driving tips. There's videos. There's all kinds of it's a wealth of information on there for parents to try and help their teenagers, teach them some good skills. Like having a safe driving contract with your teenager, right? Parents need to tell their teenagers, hey, if you get in a bad situation, you're uncomfortable in a car riding with your buddy that's being dumb, get out of the car. I tell them all the time, it's like my young son was riding with his older brother, right? He trusted him. I wish he would have said, hey, John, I don't like the way you're driving the car, let me out. Nothing wrong with doing that. Get yourself out of a bad situation. And what we ask parents to do is give their teen an opportunity to say, hey, I need help right now. Can you come get me? And then there's no questions asked. I'm going to come get you. I'm going to bring you home. And we might talk about it later, but we're not going to get you in trouble.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are looking forward to seeing what comes out of these sessions. Of course, we'll put everything on our website for you guys at home if you want to register.